Cody Bellinger hit 2 home runs in Los Angeles' 8-2 win over Philly. And lastly, Xander Bogaerts and Hunter Renfroe both had 4 RBIs in Boston's 20-8 win against Tampa Bay. For all your latest sports news and updates, keep it tuned right here. It's 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
And here we go.
You're in the recruiting hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're the 2 o'clock.
Yes, I am.
Here are your hosts, Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer. Brought to you by Bubbles and Blocks.
Welcome into the recruiting hour. Mike Schaefer, Connor Happer here on Thursday. To remain. And then we change your name. We change your time.
Mm-hmm.
We change the lead voice.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we change? That's about it.
Yeah, pretty much nothing else, yeah.
We changed the total overall amount of time that we're together in the radio studio.
Yeah, we triple it.
Yes. So those that somehow have missed it, Connor Happer and I are moving to mornings. That'll start on Monday. You can catch us at 8 a.m. very early.
Early.
Connor will be full of pep. Not very early, but early. Early for people who would have expected us in the afternoon.
Sure.
So we will we'll be debuting that next week. We'll debut the spillover, if you will.
Yeah.
We'll try it right away on Monday. I was on early break this morning. Sipple was fired up. He's just excited for all of this to happen. So looking forward to that.
Sipple loves change, as we know.
Some change. Not all change. You know, Carlos O'Kelly's, he didn't love that change.
Like that, no.
NIL, not a big fan of that change either.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a change by change basis for him.
Sure.
So, before we get going today, we've got Mike Sauter coming in sometime around 2:25, 2:30. We'll have him on the show. He's been barnstorming around the state, going to different high school practices. We'll see what he's learned so far this week as high schools are able to start fall practice. And we'll see what else is going on with Mike Sauter. You never really know where that could go. So it's wide open. He'll be making the shift to joining us, I believe, still on Thursdays in the morning as well. So we won't be losing Mike Sauter. I know that there's people that greatly enjoy his Thursdays appearances.
He's on the bandwagon.
Yeah. So he's coming along too. So before we get there, though, there was I shouldn't even say there's a reason for this tweet. There was a tweet about baseball movies because Field of Dreams game is happening tonight. I think it was supposed to happen last year, and with COVID, it got pushed back a year. This is where baseball goes and plays a game at sort of a different stadium. They've done the Little League game at Williamsport. They have done the Omaha, sort of coinciding with College World Series. And now the Field of Dreams game is this evening. I know that you'll be busy because the game starts right when your show ends, basically. But do you plan to catch any bit of this game? Is there any part of the gimmicky aspect of playing in a field of corn that has you in for, I believe, Yankees and
White Sox?
Yeah,
there's a draw to it for sure. I think it should be fun. I'm always curious to see what kind of different and fun things they do on the broadcast and at the game in general. So yeah, there's a draw.
Yeah, I for some reason thought it was like on Sunday, and I don't know why. I was like convinced that this was the Sunday game, but no, it'll be tonight on Fox. I think it starts at 6.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll have it on. I don't know that it's one of those things that I'm going to like pay real close attention to, but it'll be on a television and I'll look up and there's going to be Aaron Judge standing much taller than the corn. And,
that corn's pretty tall.
It was more of a joke about Aaron Judge. Have you seen the Joey Gallo quote?
No.
Regarding like, he's annoyed that he was traded to the Yankees because both Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge make him seem really small. And when he was like commenting on like how tall Aaron Judge was and how like ridiculous it is.
No, I did not see
He feels like puny and small when he stands next to him.
Well,
And like Joey Gallo's 6'3", 230 or something, so he's not like he's a small guy.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah.
The outfield is full of guys who love striking out
And occasionally hitting solo home runs.
running into a home run
that
at their little tiny baby stadium.
Yeah, so that game is tonight, and that prompted one Twitter account to fire off their odds for best baseball movies, and so I got to thinking, as I often do.
It's just a really weird way to present that.
Yeah.
What is odds?
I don't know. I don't know why you would, but I think it's because it's a gambling tweet. They just put a gambling association with it.
It's a stretch.
Cousin Sal does this when he does his like riverboat casino gag of he just picks something and then you can give an answer and whatever, he puts odds on it. But basically it came down to they listed all of these movies. They left several good baseball movies off.
Mm-hmm.
But you took exception with the one that they had as a plus 110 favorite for best baseball movie of all time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give you a few minutes that you could discuss. Why does Bull Durham draw the ire of Connor?
Well, I'm just not a fan of Bull Durham. I just don't think it's that funny. And I don't get the whole Susan Sarandon thing.
It's more of a rom-com than it is a comedy.
Yeah.
Like it's not a straight comedy. It is a sports movie, but it is definitely a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Is that what is that just the full part of it? You can't even get in on Nuke LaLoosh and Tim Robbins.
There are certainly some
looking
parts,
like a real baseball pitcher.
There are certainly some parts that are memorable from it, and yeah, and the baseball piece of it isn't bad, but no, I just it just feels more like a rom. It's slow. Like I like I don't know. It just has a certain pace to it. It's just slower.
Okay.
And it's more like a cinematic, like I like kind of sports movies that bounce around. They have a like almost hip hoppy like undertone to it, and Bull Durham is not that. It's boring.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to run through these movies. You tell me whether they're good, meh, or trash.
Okay. Good, meh, or trash. Those are my options.
So Bull Durham, meh, or are you going all the way to trash?
Yeah, it's on the side of trash, but it's still meh.
I don't know how you combine trash.
Trash. Yeah.
Sandlot.
Good.
Okay. Field of Dreams.
In between good and meh.
So I have Bull Durham as probably in between good and meh. I have Sandlot as good. I have Field of Dreams squarely as meh. I don't know. That movie doesn't do it for me.
I agree.
The amount of people that are like, oh, you love baseball. Like how, like why is this not? And I rewatched it last summer thinking like maybe I had missed it when I was younger. Like I didn't fully grasp it all. No, I got it when I was a kid. I wasn't all that enamored then. I certainly wasn't as an adult.
Yeah. Like I like movies that definitely tap into that nostalgia.
Sure.
But that's the whole movie. Like that's just the whole thing. It's just trying to tug at your heartstrings the entire time.
I feel like the catch scene overshadows the fact that the rest of the movie took forever to get there.
Yes.
And was only okay. And like, I get it. Like dad and his son finally getting to, internal angst comes to rest. Like I get all the thematic aspects of it. The buildup didn't really do it that much for me. And then it's just like, everyone wants to talk about the have a catch, which is a weird phrase anyways.
I would go with have a catch, by the way.
You would?
Yes.
All right. So you're on that team.
I would say have a catch more than play catch.
Yeah.
Or whatever else.
Fair enough.
Says. Yeah.
So here's one that is squarely good for me. I actually just recently rewatched and was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. League of Their Own.
Great.
Yeah. It honestly is much better than I remember.
Quite possibly my number one.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Moneyball is at
very good.
In the middle of this pack. That's one I need to rewatch. I feel like everyone likes it, and I thought it was fine. And I'm surprised by how many people enjoy it.
You haven't seen Moneyball like 42 times?
Wow.
That's
Speaking of, I have seen 42.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. It's borders between good and meh for sure.
I've seen Moneyball dozens of times.
Really?
By now. Yeah.
I think it's still on Netflix.
It's on everything all the time.
It's on.
You turn on the TV right now, it's on.
It is on everything all the time. All right. For Moneyball, we go to Major League.
Oh, good.
Yep, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie of the Year.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, like I love that movie.
Really?
Yes.
That's like a
I love Rookie of the Year and I love Little Big League.
that wasn't on the list somehow.
Angels in the Outfield.
Love Angels in the Outfield. I would take that over the other two.
That's less. You see what I'm saying here? That's less my pace. But
Yeah.
I like it
I
just
can see that.
a little bit quicker.
I don't know. Give me the Matthew McConaughey, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, just all-star cast of Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
No, it's
Here's
if we're grouping those three together because they're baseball movies with kids, basically. That's my least favorite out of the three.
So there's only two on this list I've only watched once, and it was Moneyball and 8 Men Out. And I didn't really care for 8 Men Out.
It's fine. Yeah.
This one I know you love, and for me it's trash. And I mentioned it on my podcast today.
What?
For the love of the game.
Why do you know I love this?
I thought you've talked about loving this movie before.
No. I've never it's squarely a meh for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might be thinking of someone else. I think this movie is bad.
Okay.
Like just outright bad. And here's another one that I do like, The Rookie. I think that one gets underrated.
I agree. It gets underrated.
Bad News Bears.
Good.
Have you seen both?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually just watched the Billy Bob Thornton one like 2 weeks ago.
How was it?
It kind of holds up. It's funny.
I haven't seen that one in a while. The original is good. And then the sequels are terrible. Like you just avoid them.
I thought the Billy Bob Thornton one was fun.
Well, no, that's a remake. The sequels being like when they go to Japan and the Astrodome.
No.
You don't want to watch either of those.
Okay.
Those are terrible. And then plus 5,000 bench warmers.
It's not. You can't call it good. I enjoyed it.
It's definitely not good. It's not.
You can't call it good.
It's somehow
it's not meh either.
It exists in this weird plane of like mid 2000s comedies.
I liked it, but it's like barely a movie. It's like not, I can't even refer to it as a movie.
It's almost like a guilty pleasure because it's not really one that you just go around being like, yeah, I really enjoyed bench warmers.
Yeah.
Even though at a certain time you might have.
Nick says that all the time. Nick talks about that all the time. He's like, I love bench warmers. But he's also 12. So that makes a little bit of sense.
Slightly older than 12, and he's inheriting this hour, which could now be called the bench warmers hour.
Yeah, no, wow, that's actually true. I think they're going with happy hour.
Okay.
Which is still good.
Bench warmers could be a whole brand. You could just be introducing different people into that 2 to 3 spot, and then someday they grow up to have some other spot.
But then they're not bench warmers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you become
just
a bench
keep the
warmer,
spot.
and then you work your way into.
What are some ones on the list that didn't get mentioned? Little Big League.
Big League isn't on there. Hardball isn't on there.
Hardball's fantastic.
I know we both like those.
RPG baby.
What other baseball? So there's a movie called Sugar that I really like that like 12 people have seen.
Sugar?
Yeah, it's about a Dominican kid who goes from the academy over to the United States and like the struggle of just the culture shock of all of it.
Sure.
And then he gets dropped into like Iowa on this like minor league team and has no idea what the hell's going on.
Okay.
Surprisingly good. Like
right. Never heard of it.
It's just a different way to tell a story that you've heard of.
I never saw the Disney movie that they did like a couple years
$1 Million
ago with John
Arms?
Hamm.
Yeah. It's so that movie is quintessential. You're on an airplane and you see it.
It's just on.
And you're like, you could watch it.
Yeah.
But there's probably 15 other movies. Like, it's the same way for me with streaming. Like, if I see that, it's like, I could watch it.
Yeah, I could.
I think it's on Disney Plus. Like, I could.
There's always going to be a better option.
And it's like, or I find something else.
Okay, how about The Natural?
Not a fan. I think that movie's not good. Like,
I wouldn't call it not good. I would say meh. The old ones are meh for me. That's what text line says.
Trouble with the Curve is straight trash.
That's horrible. Text line says, just based on the kind of movies that you guys like and the ones that you dislike, I've concluded that you guys are children. At best, I'd put you on the level of teenage boys. That's kind of what, I'm not ashamed of that at all. I think that's kind of what we're going for here. That's my taste. Especially in a baseball movie. Like, baseball movies are inherently not, there's been a couple smart ones, right? But they're not, like, it's surface level stuff. So
yeah,
the closest one that has been the one that's been closest to an actual movie was Moneyball, which I really enjoy. But I don't know, it's a baseball movie.
Did you ever watch the HBO 61 on Mantle and Maris?
Yes,
that was pretty good.
Yes, I enjoyed that quite a bit.
I never saw the movie Everyone's Hero. It's like a knockoff Pixar movie.
How about Mr. 3000? Loved it.
It was one of your picks for What's in the Box one time, and you were so excited to talk to me about it.
And you hadn't seen it?
And I hadn't seen it, and you were crushed, and I still haven't seen
I'm
it.
still
It was
crushed.
very early on in like the recruiting hour history.
Wow.
Because I would come in. I used to come in earlier, and we would have actual conversations before the show started.
Uh-huh.
And one of the conversations for like the multi-week stretch before I just stopped coming in early was What's in the Box was going to be.
Mr. 3000.
Yeah. And that was it one time. And you were just telling me how great it was. And I was like, yeah, I've never seen it.
It's a very, very good one.
And you were just aghast at that.
I loved because they did the baseball like imaging was good. They were the Milwaukee Brewers. They played at Miller Park. And they had the guy T-Rex Pennebaker. He looked like he was actually good at baseball. I thought that was great. I loved Mr. 3000.
Okay, here's some other ones. Have you ever seen The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes?
No.
Do you know what it's about?
No.
So basically, this guy is just obsessed with this baseball player and just is like obsessed with his life, obsessed with him.
Huh.
And the whole thing ends up with him ending up as an umpire in a game that like Wesley Snipes is playing. Like it's just
to, like, kill him or something.
Yeah. It's just absolutely
Interesting.
absurd. I thought about rewatching it here recently.
What are we?
Because it's one of those that I think I caught on like TNT in like 1999.
So he's a
12.
stalker?
Yeah, basically.
He tries to kill him?
That's what I remember it as. The text line can let us know otherwise, but I'm pretty sure that's the same movie.
What do we do with both Summer Catch and Fever Pitch?
Meh and trash.
Disagree on both accounts.
Ugh.
I enjoy both of them. I think they're both good.
Fever Pitch is terrible.
I really like Summer Catch.
Anything with Jimmy Fallon is terrible.
No,
That's basically a blanket take for me.
It's bad, but I don't know. Maybe it was just like, I think I've told you this before. It was the whole DVD thing. It was like right in the DVD craze. And for whatever reason, we had 18 copies of Fever Pitch. So I just like pop it in every once in a while. And I really like it. Like, I hate the Red Sox. I'm not close to that whole thing, but I like that movie. Drew Barrymore jumping over the fence,
Are you a big fan of Ed?
I never saw Ed.
Okay.
I never saw Ed.
Have you seen The Scout with Brendan Fraser?
Yes.
I actually haven't. Isn't his name Steve Nebraska?
Yeah, his name is Steve Nebraska. It's not good in really any way, shape, or form, but it also can't be meh because of like what we were talking about earlier with bench warmers. Like, you just it has to be great on a different scale because you can't really take it seriously.
I've never seen the Tommy Lee Jones Cobb either. He plays Ty Cobb.
Oh, I'd never seen that.
Yeah. And then
was the rookie Dennis Quaid mentioned?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That was on the actual list. We both liked it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And then the Babe with Babe Ruth. It's John Goodman plays Babe Ruth. I've seen like part of it on MLB Network, and it didn't sustain my interest long enough to stick with it.
Here's some of the text line. Was A League of Their Own not on the list? No, it was, and we both love it.
Yep.
Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck.
Oh yeah, that's on this list here. I've never actually
seen Japan.
I've never seen it.
I'm pretty sure he goes to Japan.
Okay. Tom Selleck, so he must have a good mustache. Looks like he does.
Basketball. Not really a baseball movie, but I love that movie.
It's so good. It is so good. It's such a dumb, like, it's actually one of the best, funniest portrayals of professional sports when they go through their whole like free agency and teams moving and money becoming, and it's like they made this in 1996. And clearly it stems from like the anger of the strike from 1994 with baseball.
So good.
But it just sort of nails how fans and everyone sort of view professional sports.
They created the psych out. Who hasn't been in
Your
their
mom's going out with Squeak?
who hasn't been in the backyard playing sports with your friends? Be like, psych out.
I had Weekday Wade was part of this. I have friends that were so obsessed with this movie they created a basketball league in Columbus.
Well, it's relatively unclear what the rules are, right?
Yeah.
Or do they kind of just fill in the
So there's different lines. Like a bunt, you give away an out. A single is from the free throw line. A double is from the 3-point line. A triple is in between the 3-point line and half court, and a half court's a home run. And so you get as many shots to make before you make 3 outs, essentially. Those are and then your runs are whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if you miss it, it goes off the rim, the defenders can jump up, catch it, put it off the backboard, or put it in before they touch the ground. That's a double play.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
That's those are all the basketball rules I can remember. Beyond that, there are no other rules.
I probably watched it like
you
once.
Can't physically impede their ability to shoot.
I probably watched that once every 2 weeks in college, and then the other movie would have been like White Men Can't Jump, and we just kind of alternated between the 2 movies.
It's White Men Can't Jump Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe we threw in a little, like, there was a weird roommate, and we threw in like some weird movies occasionally. We also like Nick Cage movies a lot. We threw in Memento a whole bunch. We watched
Does
Memento.
Nick Cage have a sports movie?
Oh yeah, he has to, right?
I'm looking up Nicolas Cage sports movies now.
I don't count Con Air as a sports movie, but I want to.
How does my computer always freeze whenever I need to search for
the
something?
Sport of trying to fly a whole bunch of prisoners across the country? Con Air.
He might have some gambling movies, but that's basically about it for Nicolas Cage.
Space Jam, they play baseball for 60 seconds. Well, Space Jam's also overrated.
Space Jam, like the original?
Yeah.
I don't know that anyone thinks that it's like a cinematic classic. I think it's just nostalgic.
I don't understand why people talk about it as much as they do, though.
Big event when for people roughly my age, like it was a big deal. It was marketed as a big deal. It seemed really hip and cool. Bugs Bunny was playing basketball with Michael Jordan, which seemed remarkable at the time. I don't know. Like I feel like the people that perpetuate that the most are slightly older than you.
Yeah.
Like around my age.
I might have missed it.
Because they were just like the perfect target audience for that at like 8 years old.
Yeah, I might have missed it.
So
have you seen the new one?
I have seen the new one. It is not particularly good.
I don't plan on watching it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Although I did watch I watched the first episode of Hard Knocks last night.
Is that
very good? It was very good.
All right.
It was funny.
That's one of those shows that every year I'm like, I'm not going to watch this anymore.
They got into this Dak and Zeke bromance thing, and Zeke was trying to like wrap a present, and he couldn't do it. They talked about one of the coaches like having a vasectomy. It was very weird, very odd.
Does Mike McCarthy seem as dumb on this show as he is in real life?
No.
I don't like it. It seems fake then.
No. He doesn't. No, he doesn't.
So,
not yet. Anyway.
Will I walk away from this thinking he's a competent coach?
I don't know. I've only seen the only one episode has come out so
because
far.
he was with the Packers, I think, for 10 years. So I watched him coach against the Vikings a fair amount of time and was never impressed.
Oh, I haven't been either, but there was nothing like that made me think he's horrible.
All right.
Yet anyway.
Fair enough. All right, we're gonna go to break early. We'll get Mike Sauter. We'll give him a little extra time. We got some recruiting stuff we can hit on, including kind of rounding out what's left for Nebraska from their official visit period in June. We'll do that towards the end of the show. I should throw this open though. If you want to get questions in, today's really your last time on the recruiting hour. Of course, we will accept questions on the Happer and Shaver show, of course. But for the recruiting hour, if you want, you should go ahead and get your questions in now. Sauter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, and we will get to that later in the show.
You're listening to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, I'm an interior designer. A lot of builders don't have designers on staff. I'm included with our Aspen package and can make your home more custom to your taste, your needs, and your wants.
Rachel's our interior designer at Aspen Builders. She's one of the reasons that makes us really good at what we do. I'm Bob Benish, and we absolutely love how Rachel takes care of our clients.
I think the biggest challenge with building is a lot of clients are worried about all the choices. When they come in, they kind of have a deer in the headlights look. I like to ask people at the end, so what did you think? And usually they pause and they say, you really broke it up, kept it simple. We just did one meeting at a time, so I wasn't looking at all the decisions I had to make. I had plenty of time to decide things. You walked me through it all. It made it simple.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Mike Schaefer here with 5-star child care provider Lee Beecher from Bubbles and Blocks. Let's start with what makes Bubbles and Blocks special.
We have 3 beautiful locations in Lincoln that provide the safety, security, and reliability you need while also bringing a family feel to each classroom at every location.
I also hear some congratulations are in order.
Thank you. Yes, we just won the Lincoln Choice Award for Best Daycare and Preschool for the 3rd year in a row.
What should people do if they want to join the Bubbles and Blocks family?
Call to set up a tour to enroll your child today, or you can visit bubblesandblocks.com to apply to join our team.
New owners means new lunch specials at the Fox Bar and Grill. They've just introduced tons of options on their new under $10 lunch menu. Small nachos grande, a classic cheeseburger, 4 boneless or traditional wings and fries, or a small single topping pizza for just $5 each. Try the mushroom Swiss burger or the pepper jack stack burger for just $6. And for just $7, try any of the classic steak Philly, club wrap, grilled chicken salad, or grilled southwestern salad. It's the under $10 lunch menu at the Fox Bar and Grill, just south of 14th and Pine Lake.
Don't you feel so free out here on the lake?
Not as free as this soda.
Where'd you get free soda?
Casey's. Buy 4 fountain drinks, 5th one's free.
I love free.
Well, then you'll love this. Bought this jerky. Got this free donut.
I love free donuts.
With Casey's Summer of Freedom sweepstakes, the more you buy, the more you can win, including free Lee Brice concert tickets. Casey's, here for good. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. For official rules, visit Casey's.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
At MD Pain, we know chronic pain is a problem. It can lead to isolation, depression, and the inability for you or a loved one to live the life you want. That doesn't need to happen. Chronic pain can be effectively managed. The doctors of MD Pain wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. Get actual solutions with the most up-to-date, clinically proven treatment options available. No one has to suffer in silence. Get real treatment for chronic pain. Call MD Pain.
Century Electric is now hiring for experienced licensed electricians. This position will serve around the Lincoln area on both commercial and residential jobs. Century Electric is well established with 40 years in operation. It offers a substantial hiring bonus as well as tons of benefits. For more information or to apply, go online to centuryelectric.com and click the careers tab or call them at 402-467-5550. Come work for a great company today with Century Electric, whose commitment is always to their customers.
Back to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer, presented by Bubbles and Blocks on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Recruiting Hour, where I was not paying attention because I was watching a near hole-in-one that just ran around the entire hole, and the reaction of the player was pretty incredible. So I apologize. But I'm back. Happer's here. Yes. Mike Sauter's on the line. Mike Sauter, what's going on?
Not much. Well, I mean, a lot, but not much right now.
All right. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, I mean,
Haber's losing his mind over here.
Well, not much, but like, a lot, but not much.
I've been to, let's see, 2, 3, 6 high school football practices in the last, from Monday through Wednesday. So
nice.
I guess that's a lot, right?
All in Omaha?
What was that?
All in Omaha?
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Interesting.
Well, we look forward to you loving on Lincoln a little bit, but we'll talk a little Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, we have a guy in Lincoln that's going to practices as well.
Okay. That's fair.
That helps.
NEB preps, they cover the state. That is true. We like to specifically give you trouble over it, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I love Lincoln.
There it is. Yeah. That's all we really want.
We were kind of fishing for that one.
Yeah. You're
yeah,
good
that's
now.
what I thought. So I gave it to you on the queue.
All right.
A little late. My bad. I was a little late.
No.
Should've
You're
been
fine.
Right on.
So you've been to 6 practices. What schools?
Let's see. Midnight on Monday was Papillion La Vista. And then Omaha Burke on Monday, late morning, early afternoon. And then Creighton Prep on Monday afternoon. And then Tuesday was Millard South. And yesterday was Omaha Northwest and Omaha Central. And today I am headed to the Class A defending state champion Omaha Westside Warriors.
Very nice. So was there, when you go through this process this first week, obviously you talk with these coaches quite a bit. You watched a lot of these same guys play in 7-on-7 stuff. Has there been a player or two that's just kind of popped up on the radar that maybe you hadn't heard much of until this week? I know that's hard because you're in pretty good contact with a lot of these schools, but is there a new player or two that you could put us towards? Because you're usually pretty good at that this time of year.
Yeah. Yeah. When I go to practices, I try to, this first kind of week or two, I really try and focus on the line play, because in June and July, I'm going to 7-on-7 stuff and all about the skill guys and all that. So when I do actually get the opportunity to go to practices, I try really hard to focus on the line play. But I will tell you, this is totally random. When I went to Millard South's practice on Tuesday, I was like, what is this kid doing? And like shocked, like in a good way. Simon McClannon, their kicker, is really good. Like he had a little bit of wind at his back and he was kicking to the north. There was some south breeze, but the dude's making like 65-yard straight down the middle field goals.
Simon McClannon, who is a part of the Coles kicking camp. They have him rated as the number 3 kicker in the country.
Whoa.
For 2023 class.
And he's right here, right in our backyard.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, I'm telling you, it's a weapon. Like, they will use him. And he's pretty accurate. He was working on some kickoffs to, try and get it like right at the goal line or the 1 or something like that. And he was doing a nice job of that. If they want him to kick touchbacks all day, he certainly is capable of that. I mean, he is going to be pretty big for them, and they should have some close games because they just, their schedule's tough, and they lost. North South lost 7 of their top 8 offensive linemen from last year's team that made it to the semis. So it's a rebuild on the offensive line, no question. And they have a ton of skill. Like, their skill guys are really good. Gage Stanger is going to take over at quarterback for TJ Urban, and they're different styles. Gage can throw it a little bit better, I think, and can actually, take it down and run it. He's committed to Kansas State, I think, is more of an athlete or safety, and he will play safety as well. But they don't just have Gage. I mean, Antrell Taylor, he won state last year as a junior wrestler. He's going to be going for his 3rd in a row wrestling state title this year. Committed to Nebraska to wrestle. He's a wide receiver, corner. Jake Gassaway committed to Northern Illinois for football, is a outside linebacker, tight end that could be a pretty good in pass rush situations as a stand-up kind of outside linebacker. They play a 4-3, but it wouldn't shock me with the lack of depth on the line if they maybe switch it up a little bit and play some 3-4 stuff. Brock Murtagh is another guy there. They just have a lot of skill that's really going to be pretty good. It's just a matter of can the offensive line just get in the way enough to block somebody. That's what it'll be.
This is sort of, it might be difficult for you, and so if you can't quite do it, feel free to let us know. But so Kellen Meyer obviously committed to Nebraska as a walk-on, and he's joined the program, and there's a lot of excitement about his big leg. Does Mcconaughey have that level of leg in him? I mean, he's actually, of the two, rated higher. Obviously, they're not in the same class, but they both went to Coles. Them looking at their profiles right here. Does Mcconaughey have like huge sort of kicking upside in your opinion?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think he's not the athlete. I mean, he is a true like kicker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what he is. He's not, 6'2" and 180. He looks like a kicker, but he really can kick. So I think he's pretty good. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Alex Henry, watching him. If I remember back watching Alex Henry kick at Burke a little bit. So
that's a big name.
Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, the kid's really good. So, yeah, that's the one name that I'm like just stuck on in my mind. That, and I did just get done writing the Millard South practice report, so that's kind of fresh in my memory.
Fair. All right. So one of the schools you mentioned there in Papillion La Vista, they've got a few guys that are on the recruiting radar. I think have ended up with teams at this point. That is a program that is, maybe not going to challenge for the Class A title, but they could be a pretty strong top 10 team this year with their talent if they can get things figured out on the offensive line. Is that what you saw when you saw them practicing at midnight the other night?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I think that, again, their skill is pretty good. Nick Chinez is going to be the quarterback. So what's funny in Nebraska is everyone, bags on Bellevue West for getting transfers and stuff. Well, no one ever talks about the kids that leave Bellevue West and go everywhere else to play. So Nick Chinez is going to be the starting quarterback. He was at Bellevue West. And now he's at Papillion. He's fine. He's probably more of a baseball prospect, but he's fine. They do have two nice tackles. Alec Blevins is going to be the right tackle, and he's committed to Wayne State. They lost Caden Johnson to an ACL. So he's out. He actually tore his ACL at South Dakota State's camp. So that kind of stinks because he's going to have a big year. He was their second leading tackler last year, but Will Hebert's back for them. Will had 19 sacks last year, which clearly easily led the state. And I think it was something like 43 tackles for loss. So pretty big numbers there. He'll be, it's kind of weird. He's a linebacker, but be in the rotation-ish or a backup offensive lineman. Luke Lindenmeyer is good, has offers from some, I guess, group of 5 schools like Army is one. He's got big hands and can catch the ball really well. Tyson Money's a dynamic kind of athlete. Derek Bug-Eyes is another dynamic kind of athlete for them. Again, it's just going to come down to their guard spots are the kind of question on the offensive line and if they can block enough. But if they can get the ball in the hands of their athletes, they should be pretty good. And I think to start the year, they'll probably be in that bottom of the top 10-ish range. Even for a team that went 2-7 or whatever it was last year, I do think they'll be in playoff contention or should be if they can remain healthy.
We talked with Damon Benning a little bit earlier this week, and of course he's now at Omaha West Side where they open up against Creighton Prep. And I think Creighton Prep was one of the schools you mentioned of catching their practice. That game last year, the three of us were all at it. I believe it was a Thursday start to the season. And after a slow first quarter, West Side just took control, ran away with it. It feels like this game should be a lot closer to even, if not slanted towards Creighton Prep's favor a little bit with what they have returning. How do you feel about that assessment this early?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, West Side lost a lot. I am kind of excited to go to their, not kind of, I am excited to go to their practice today and see some of the changes and all that. I mean, Colby Brown's going to be the quarterback, and he's fine. Like he's not, some bum out there. So but he's not Cole Payton, right? So that's clearly different. Dom Rizak, I think they'll lean heavily on him in the run game. They had a really, really good freshman class last year. So some of those guys, including Damon's kid Caleb, will have to kind of step up and play if he's healthy enough to kind of to come back. He had a back injury that kept him out of July. So that'll be a question, but I think Westside should be all right. They'll be a top 10 team. They do return some nice pieces. It's just they lost so much. Prep, if they don't have the best offensive line, it's definitely probably one of the top 3 in the state, I would say. Led by obviously Sam Sledge, who's going to play right tackle. Rocco Marcelino is going to play left tackle, and they all go across the line. They're all basically 6'2", 6'3", and like 240 minimum. So they're all kind of pretty big dudes, and they're all juniors. They kind of went young on the line 2 years ago, and then obviously last year, and got those guys a lot of experience. So now it's kind of their turn. I think Prep, if they pass it more than 12 times a game, then something went wrong. It should be a lot of run, and don't even worry about doing much else. Maybe mix in some play action stuff, and that's about all. They have 3 really good running backs that are all a little different. One of the kind of breakout guys of the summer for me, and I think a lot more people will talk about him as the season goes on at Prep, is Charmar Brown. He's a junior running back, and he looks like $1 million. I mean, in t-shirt, shorts, and a helmet, he certainly looks the part. John Pargo is a speedy kind of track guy that was on their 4x1 state championship team last year, or in the spring, and he'll bring a little bit of a change of pace. But they'll probably rely at first on Jack Stessman, the running back they had last year, who is built like a brick. He's a pretty strong guy, so he'll get some tough yards too. So they have 3 really good backs that they really like, and they all 3 can play. So I think they'll just try and control the ball and just run it down people's throat. And with that offensive line, that's what I would do too. And I do think Prep is probably they should start the year as a top 5 team.
Good stuff there. I want to ask about some OPS schools, because I just feel like we might be underrating how difficult it's going to be for them in the beginning here, because they essentially lost a year of development. They lost a year for guys that, not that they couldn't get big and strong and everything in the off season, but it's just a little bit different. If you were a freshman in 2019 and then you're a sophomore in 2020 and you didn't get a play, and now it's 2021 and you're a junior and you're being counted on at some of these OPS schools, which of those schools have the best chance of making the playoffs? And I mean, do you expect multiple of them to be able to get into the Class A playoffs?
Yeah, I would say Burke obviously is one. Just again, they have
schedule's hard.
Their schedule's really hard. Their skills, obviously, I think really good. Devin Jackson's going to play wide receiver, which you kind of just throw the ball as far as you can, and you can't out throw him because he can run. And Trey Starks is another guy, and Donovan Moody is another guy that they're going to find ways to get the ball. Their line, again, is not great right now. They need to kind of get that figured out. Alec Cook is a really nice linebacker for them. Again, though, can he kind of get through the wash if the line isn't quite up to snuff, which they're totally inexperienced on the line. And that is a big concern of mine for Burke, but I think they should be right in the mix. Their schedule is hard. And then I think Central is a team that for sure should be in that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 range. to start the year. They are big. I mean, like big, not just Deshaun Woods, but their line's pretty good. Obviously, Deshaun is the anchor at right tackle. He played some defensive tackle last night at practice I was at, and he was pretty impressive. Like, wouldn't shock me if when he gets to college, if they kind of think about that one and making that switch. But he's really good. I mean, Deshaun is really good. He's kind of slimmed down a little bit, which might be a little bit of a concern for me. I think he needs to kind of put on a little more weight. Obviously, when he gets to college, I think that will happen just kind of naturally. But they have running backs and linebackers that look like they should be linemen. They're big and strong. They're obviously, you can tell in the last year they've spent a lot of time in the weight room. Again, it's quarterback's probably a little bit of a question. They're going to go with a guy that can really run it, but kind of locks in on one receiver and can't really get to the second or third progression. So that's a little bit of a question for me. But they do have three backs that they can rely on, and one like Derrick Henry looking dude that will just pound you. So high school version. I mean, I'm not saying he's actually Derrick Henry.
High school version of Derrick Henry was a legend. So,
well, not that, you know what I mean? Like, he's just huge.
Yeah.
So for a running back, think like Xander Gray.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he was awesome.
Very good.
Yeah. Think similar to that. So he's super big, and they have a two other backs that they really like that are going to be a little bit more change of pace. I'm hoping to get that practice report done maybe later tonight when I get home from Westside. But so that'll be up on the site. And then I went to Northwest. I think Northwest, in all honesty, will probably be has a chance to be, I guess, the best of the bad teams, if that makes sense. They have a few linemen. One lineman I kind of really liked. They have some athletes. They do have another big back that's going to have to play running back and I think defensive end. They're going to have to beat teams like Bryan, and I think that's their first game. So, if they can beat the teams that they hope to be better than, then maybe they can sneak into a playoff. Those are the three, I think, in OPS that have a chance. But we'll kind of see if that happens for Northwest. And then, like you said, Burke's schedule, they're obviously really, really well coached. It's just a matter of, can they get the line kind of going?
All right, Mike, we appreciate your time as always. We look forward to you making the move with us to Thursday mornings starting next week.
This is an end of an era.
It is.
It is. We you were our only scheduled guest we had during the entire duration of the recruiting hour. You made, I would say,
weekly, yeah,
weekly guests. You made what, probably 75% of Thursday shows that we had for the recruiting hour.
What?
Because we didn't.
It's got to be higher than that.
We didn't start.
It's literally on my calendar, and I get an alert 15 minutes.
Yeah, he was there like every time.
But we didn't have him as a recurring guest for the first 2 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It wasn't until July that we struck the gold that was having Mike Sauter every Thursday.
You remember this stuff so well. I have no recollection.
It's sort of my show. Like, I'm supposed to remember it.
Hey, that was totally out of my control. Everything I could control, I control.
That's right.
Yeah. And you did a great job, and that's why you're coming along for Thursday mornings with Happer and Schaefer.
I'm just happy to be along for the ride with the new show, whatever it's called. And the FS show still in my mind. Happer.
Yeah.
It's up to you, Happer. It's on you.
Okay.
You have my phone number.
Ball's in my court. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right, Mike. We appreciate it.
Do it. Yeah. All right. Bye.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike Sauter, NEB Preps. We're going to go to break. We will come back, finish up the show, get your questions next. Sutter Heyman text line 402-464-5685.
You're listening to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I don't know about you guys, but I have been getting back out and hitting different restaurants, hitting different places, and I could not be more excited to get back to Bearshin in Benson, one of the best beer gardens around. The weather's starting to get good, and coinciding with that, they are going back to their full food menu. We're talking the burgers, the Johnny Hammer Pants sandwich, the pretzels, the fries, the salads, if you're one of those people. They got all of it. And they are now open Tuesday through Sunday. That allows you to get over to Bearshin, check out the food, the beer, hang out in the beer garden. You can get that $7 big cheese double Wagyu burger special on Tuesdays. Also, happy hour, 3 to 6, Tuesday through Friday. Don't miss it. Plus, if you're a soccer fan, it's the place to be in Benson.
No doubt about it, a water softener saves you money. Don't have one? Call the plumbers at Bryant. Just one call and no arm-twisting contracts. For a free estimate, call 467-1111 or go to BryantLincoln.com.
At MD Pain, we know chronic pain is a problem. It can lead to isolation, depression, and the inability for you or a loved one to live the life you want. That doesn't need to happen. Chronic pain can be effectively managed. The doctors of MD Pain wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. Get actual solutions with the most up-to-date, clinically proven treatment options available. No one has to suffer in silence. Get real treatment for chronic pain. Call MD Pain.
Did you know that Myers Cork & Bottle is still open for walk-in business, but is now also offering citywide delivery? Learn more or place your order by calling 476-1518. And be sure to listen to 30 Thursday with Myers Cork & Bottle every Thursday at 4:30 on The Drive.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at koppelcars.com. I found a vehicle I liked, then I drove that money-saving mile to Koppel in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at koppelcars.com.
Mike Schaefer here with five-star childcare provider Lee Beecher from Bubbles and Blocks. Let's start with what makes Bubbles and Blocks special.
We have 3 beautiful locations in Lincoln that provide the safety, security, and reliability you need while also bringing a family feel to each classroom at every location.
I also hear some congratulations are in order.
Thank you. Yes, we just won the Lincoln Choice Award for Best Daycare and Preschool for the 3rd year in a row.
What should people do if they want to join the Bubbles and Blocks family?
Call to set up a tour to enroll your child today, or you can visit bubblesandblocks.com to apply to join our team.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Baseball's back, and it's time to celebrate, Lincoln. We're inviting fans back to Haymarket Park to join in the fun for the Salt Dogs 20th season. Pick out single game tickets and plot your own Salt Dog schedule around promos and deals. Come to Haymarket Park for Nebraska Medical Association Thank You Tuesdays, Fairbury brand Wiener Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, Fireworks Fridays, Souvenir Saturdays, and Sunday Family Fun Days brought to you by Casey's. Get your tickets for the Salt Dogs celebration season at saltdogs.com.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to the Recruiting Hour with Mike Schaefer and Connor Happer. Presented by Bubbles and Blocks. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to the Recruiting Hour one final time here on Thursday. Thank you to Mike Sauter for joining us as always from NEB Preps. All right, let's just dive right into these questions. We don't have time to talk about $27 airport beers. What do we got?
We'd like some more, by the way. 402-464-5685. We got a few minutes left in the show for your guys' questions. Like we said, this is the last time you're going to
probably go into overtime a little bit if we need to.
Yeah, I think we're going to. This is the last time you're going to get the call at 2:50 on whatever day of the week, and we need your questions. Okay. Will Frost get at least one 4-star recruit this year?
No.
I don't think so either.
I started that drum beat probably the beginning of right before I went on vacation, I think, is when I sat down and I sort of looked at it, and it's like,
doesn't look like there's any out there.
And then I think they probably only they have less than 5 total commitments left in this class, and it could be less than 3. So I don't think they're getting a 4-star unless someone like Victor Jones Jr. gets bumped up to it on 24/7 Sports or Rivals. That would be my guess at this point. Maybe Hayden Schwartz. He might be the highest rated guy in the class on 24/7 Sports Composite. So, but I would say no 4-stars for the 2021 class, which would be certainly the first time for me covering the team, and it might be the first time in the internet era.
You never know. If Nebraska wins some games and they get hot on the recruiting trail, things can change in a hurry. But as it stands,
there would need to be someone that they can get, though. Like
Sure.
that's the thing.
Things
Is
can
that,
change. Guys decommit.
right, right. But they also would need to maintain that relationship with said person and whatever else. I don't get the sense they're going to be a super active recruiting 2022 this fall. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you're already getting a head start on 2023. Let's see. Can we get the Pawnee Plunge commercial one more time? I really miss it. Also throw in another Bubbles and Blocks commercial. Let's see. There's none scheduled in the next break. So
Yeah. Well, the Bubbles and Blocks will run one more time tomorrow for sure.
we could do one more splash if you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're interested.
Today's opening splash.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
I thought you were ready.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
gotta give me more time than that.
I thought you had it. I thought you were ready to go.
I usually have it. Go try it. Try it now.
Today's opening splash brought to you by the Pawnee Plunge. It is no longer open.
It's just closed for the winter.
But when it comes back in 2022, we'll be there. You should be there.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
Pretty good. Greatest water park in the galaxy.
It was incredible. That might have been, when we sit and we think about the highlights of the recruiting hour, that's got to be up towards the top.
Texter says, I feel like Mike needs to call in for your last episode and apologize for taking up your time and also ask 3 to 4 really good recruiting questions.
I would have loved if we could have had Mike call in.
Well, we didn't. Maybe he was going to hold out and call tomorrow.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're spurring it on people
Yeah.
that we're not going to be live tomorrow.
It is true. Well, if Mike has questions, he knows how to get a hold of me on Twitter, and we certainly welcome in the mornings too.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about tomorrow?
I've got ideas.
Okay.
I've got ideas.
All right, good. I hope you keep Sauter on your new show. He's super quirky, but he works hard and really does this stuff. Yeah, he's coming.
I 100% co-sign on all of that.
That's pretty much completely accurate. That's pretty much it.
All right.
That's all we got.
Well, we appreciate
an unceremonious end to the recruiting hour.
Yeah, we appreciate all the questions and feedback and everything we've gotten through the text line throughout the last 2+ years. We will have another show tomorrow. It will feature myself and Happer. Just a bit of a tease. I'm gonna throw a little recruiting hour trivia at him.
Oh, I won't remember anything.
See if he can come up with any of the names of various recruits that we had on. Who our first ever guest was.
We got a late one on the Twitch stream. Describe Schaefer's style in one word.
Style.
Yeah, I assume they're talking about like your clothes.
One word is tough.
I don't know.
This is great. He's like running out the clock.
But the first word that comes to my head is like college. It's like, it's short sleeve t-shirts, hats, backwards hats, and shorts.
Laid back.
Yeah, laid back. That's more than a word.
And that's the end of the show. We'll catch you tomorrow.
93.7 The Ticket.